the Styrkaar of Sortsvinaer, need an alias in Tides of Torment. Because how many of you seriously want to pronounce his name every time you use it? How about Sty? Can we call you Sty? I'm going to call you Sty. Let's see what this hero of the Slaanesh persuasion, the fun demons, brings to the game, and our enjoyment thereof, more in the sense of dishing it out than taking it. A proper legendary hero with 0 upkeep. Once you get him, he strides in at 4,688 health with 80 armor and a mighty shield blocking 55% of small arms fire missiles from the front. Physical resistance 5%, missile resistance 15% for whatever slips through or villainously shoots him from behind. Leadership 80 is solid, speed 42 and charge speed 45 is impressive for the encumbrance. Melee attack begins at 45. Each blow inflicts soporific musk, 10 seconds of -5 melee attack and melee defense on the enemy. Someone suggested the Cultist should have something like this, but here it is on a legendary hero. Attack interval 4 seconds is normal, splash gut size medium means Chaos Knights on down, and max targets damaged is 4. This means damage is equally divided between up to 4 targets, no more than that, no matter how many targets are tossed about. Melee defense begins at 60, a high, strong number. Weapon strength 560 is unusually high, but the split of base 360 and armor piercing 140 means that a disturbingly high amount of this is devoted to damage that might, or might not, be significantly stopped by the target's armor. And at least some of it is almost certain to be stopped. Charge bonus 20 and mass is 1000. Oh, that means there is no bonus versus a type. Counting as a siege attacker, he has immunity to psychology and Strider. Like the Praeton, he gets Glorious Slaughter, kicking in when enemies within 35 meters are routing or broken, granting charge bonus plus 10%, melee attack plus 8, which is kind of nice, and plus 25% speed, also nice. Certainly good for chasing a fleeing footlord. On a Steed of Slaanesh, health is up to 4,876, physical resistance 20% base, missile resistance 0% base, so that's a change, speed 75, charge speed 120. Melee defense slips to 55, and charge bonus is 50, mass is 1000. It's important to note that nothing else in the stats changed, including the beefy shield, and the hero now gets devastating flanker where he did not on foot. The Monarch Steed gives him 5,780 health, speed 100, charge speed 130, melee defense reverts to 60, weapon strength is 500, but the ratio is flipped. Base 140 to armor piercing 360, which is a huge improvement in elite character hunting potential. Charge bonus is 60 and mass is 1800. Devastating flanker remains. Causes fear is added. Usually I go into the skill lines first, but I suspect it's a lot better to list the legendary items first to put them into better context, because these come packaged with the hero. You don't take them off, nobody else has them. Armor of Disdain adds plus 20 armor, ward save plus 5%, wound recovery time minus 1 turns, melee defense plus 6, and chaos armor passive for plus 20% missile block chance and 28 points of melee damage reflection, like the Curse of the Leper as a full-time spell. Missile block chance effectively 75% is pretty crazy, but how you'll use it is curious. Sign of Depravity gives control plus 5 local province, growth plus 20%, and Slaanesh corruption plus 5% for the same. In a 55-meter bubble, it has an effect increasing with each enemy unit wavering or lower, maxing out at speed minus 50% and melee defense minus 8 for foes, speed plus 50%, and leadership plus 8 for friends, or at least useful puppets. In a fast faction, this helps confirm Slaughter. Blade of Endless Boasts grants melee attack plus 6, permanent magical attack. This is what I suspected and why I wanted to come here first. Weapon strength plus 10% and has the active ability Sonic Boom, 90-second cooldown, 30-meter radius, low damage, 8 magical over 2 seconds, and this is 100% armor piercing, but seems to put enemies on their behinds extremely well. For 22 seconds, these enemies will be at minus 30% speed, minus 6 melee attack, and minus 4 melee defense from being disoriented. That's the contact effect name. The background trait, Unseen Companion, makes him immune to flanking. Leadership plus 8 to Marauder and Slaanesh devoted Marauder units. He can be recruited by several Warriors of Chaos factions, you see, and minus 15% upkeep for the same. As an embedded hero, he brings training, increasing the percentage of XP gained post-battle. Spread Control is the map passive. The agent actions are the Dark Trinity of Assault Garrison, Assassinate, and Assault units, with Specialist reducing the cost of these agent actions. By default, he gets Hate's Corn for plus 10 melee attack and plus 15% weapon strength against those spoil sports. Eye of the Gods at rank 7 will give plus 10% weapon strength for 1 pip, good Norscan pip there. Aura of Chaos at rank 8 is 1 pip for plus 10% missile resistance, and he can always use more because on the steeds he loses what he had standard. The main combat line is so orthodox but good I'll zip through it. Blade Master plus 5 melee attack at 1 pip, Devastating Charge plus 3, Charge bonus flat at 3, Thick Skinned plus 15 armor, Hard to Hit plus 12 melee defense, Deadly Blade plus 12 melee attack, Foe Seeker, more speed and less fatigue for 25 seconds, Wound Maker plus 20% weapon strength, Scarred Veteran plus 15% health, Fleet-Footed plus 15% speed, Blade Shield plus 12 melee defense, Deadly Onslaught plus 25% weapon strength and plus 60% charge bonus, while it is up 31 seconds duration, 9-second cooldown. The first of 2 personal lines requires no rank for the first and second pips, and then there's limits. Children of the Sortsvinaer grants casualty replenishment plus 15% for Marauder units, recruit rank plus 3 for the same, and recruitment cost minus 30% for the same. Terror from the Wastes gives him causes terror, causes fear granted to Marauder units, and fatigue buildup minus 33% for those units. And I should note, the units that are actually shown here seem very specific to Slaanesh, so we'll work with that. At rank 10, Follow the Leader increases his Lord's post-battle loot plus 25%, gives speed plus 10% for Marauders and Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh units, and physical resistance plus 10% for the same. Demonic Whispers, after those 2 previous pips, gives campaign movement range plus 10%, Slaanesh Corruption plus 5, and the Demonic Whispers ability, 120-second cooldown, 26-second duration, 200-meter range, 1 unit with the Mark of Slaanesh in your forces, gains causes fear and causes terror, and benefits from plus 16 leadership itself. At rank 12, his more orthodox personal line begins with Harsh Past for plus 15% health and ward save plus 5%. Dreadful Reputation adds Enhanced Soporific Musk and Feasting on Fear. Feasting on Fear heals for up to 0.4% health per second when enemies within 30 meters are wavering or lower morale up to 4. The other inflicts leadership minus 10, melee attack minus 7, and melee defense minus 7 for a 10-second duration per smack. Powerful stuff. Lethal Onslaught grants armor-piercing damage plus 40 per each blow, pretty significant even before the Demonic Steed, and Unyielding Assault so that neither spell, nor fatigue, nor sleep, nor hail will lower his melee attack value. Indomitable Resolve gives him minus 66% fatigue buildup and makes him unbreakable, which is great and wonderful. So, how do we use Styrkarr, whose name I've avoided repeating until this point? First off, online information doesn't show that he's any different when used by Chaos Undivided factions, including pumping out his Slaanesh Corruption. In other respects, it's a good thing. I can tell you he's going to be very interesting in a T'Challa army. Marauders are an acquired taste for some, and making them cheaper is welcome, but spreading some of the boosts to Chaos Warriors is really nice. Those of Slaanesh persuasion, mind you. I want to say that in spite of obtaining Devastating Flanker and decent-ish charge bonus to use it with, this is a better tarpit hero than most, which means he's actually very good at taking it rather than dishing it out. Including being a missile tarpit, he gets a top-tier set of passives and contact effects for turning pitched melees in your favor. He increases both melee attack and defense quite a lot, though he starts lower in attack, and there's just not an easily identifiable weakness. He's just solid, really helps to exploit things when enemies are fleeing before him, and, used craftily, Sonic Boom can make it very hard for an enemy force to stop your charges properly. It's also fair to say that there are heroes that are more immediately powerful, but as a mix of speed, stubbornness, and a fairly high amount of damage that turns armor-piercing tilted later, he's very alright. In the end, Marauders take a lot of damage, and that casualty replenishment will be worth a lot to you because of the time it saves. But the thing is, this is an anvil hero in a faction full of hammers. So just the fact he hits decently is pretty alright. Take care, and have fun chasing wizards with overspeed 100 even before charging distance. Those steeds are strong for everyone, and I'm sure will do wonders here too.